Hello, everybody, and welcome to the MoneyShift YouTube channel. This is another episode of the Maverick Files, and today we are taking on the king of the mid-size truck segment. That is the Toyota Tacoma. On the left, we have a Toyota Tacoma SR5 double cab. On the right, we have a Ford Maverick XLT in 2-liter EcoBoost all-wheel drive form. So let's do a statistical comparison, and then we'll break down the differences in bed, interior, and overall summary. So that Toyota Tacoma is a 3.5-liter naturally aspirated V6 engine. That V6 engine has a grand total of 278 horsepower, 265 pound-feet of torque through a 6-speed automatic transmission. That Ford Maverick is a 2-liter EcoBoost. EcoBoost is Ford speak for turbo, which means it has 250 horsepower, 277 pound-feet of torque through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, the biggest advantage for the Ford Maverick over the Toyota Tacoma is payload. It has 1,500 pounds payload versus the Toyota Tacoma's 1,155 pounds, but the Toyota Tacoma can tow 5,600 versus the Maverick's 4,000. When it comes to styling, we can already tell that this Toyota Tacoma is going to look good for the rest of time. It's not making any crazy styling decisions, but that's on purpose. And in this trim right here with these sort of charcoal wheels to match the charcoal color, this Toyota Tacoma will look good for the rest of time. Love that little splash of chrome there as well. It definitely is a good looking truck. But let's get to the business end of these two machines, and we start with something I've mentioned 100 times. This Ford Maverick does not have a damped tailgate. Now, that doesn't matter because it literally weighs 2 pounds, but it's a feature we got to note. On the right side, you got a storage compartment and a bed rail. On the left side, you have another bed rail and a small outlet and a bed light, and you have pre-wired areas to install accessories and tons of different mounting points. As we make our way over to the Toyota Tacoma's composite bed, we are met with a feature we do not have on the Maverick. That is a damped tailgate. You love to see that. On the right side, though, there is a storage compartment that is wider but shallower than the Ford Maverick. You also have pre-wired places here for some accessories and some frame rails, just like you do in the Maverick. Biggest differences between the Toyota Tacoma bed and the Maverick bed is the overall size of the Tacoma's composite bed. Definitely wider and longer, which just allows you to do more with it. But the Maverick has more customizability, if that makes sense, more places to put things. Interesting feature with the Toyota Tacoma is this sort of kick down step that is available on these cars as a sort of means to get into the bed easier. It's sort of a step up, if you will. Now, the Ford Maverick doesn't have this, but let's be honest, it doesn't really need it. This thing definitely is a little bit shorter, so because of that, the step-in is really easy. But let's make our way to the inside, where we go over the first of the two biggest differences between a body-on-frame pickup and a unibody pickup, and that is interior space. But before we get there, let's talk about the first thing we see, and that is these beautiful analog gauges. These things will work forever. They'll be clear forever. The steering wheel controls are right where you want them to be, and they are exactly the controls that you want. Things for your phone, things for your cruise, things for all your sensing, all of that stuff. The UI on the navigation system is okay, but it has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, so that doesn't really matter. Dual zone climate, which is nice. No heated steering wheel, no heated seats, which is interesting, but heated mirrors, which is weird, but nice to see that nonetheless. But because this is a body on frame and because Toyota prioritized things like ground clearance, the floor in the Toyota Tacoma is a lot higher, and you're sitting higher in the Toyota Tacoma versus the Ford Maverick. So you're actually looking down at the Maverick from inside the Tacoma. But because of that floor being higher, my 6-foot, 285-pound frame is a bit uncomfortable here, if I'm going to be honest. I could definitely do short drives, but anything over an hour, hour and a half, and I would probably start to get cramped, tired, and would need to stretch out. And the same range true for the rear. For the purpose of this test, I'm going to be sitting behind myself. Again, I'm 6 feet tall, and the first thing you'll notice is because there's no cutouts in the front seat, the legroom is a little bit shallow, and the headroom is also shallow. There's no cutout in the headroom as well. Tons of light here, lots of glass in this Tacoma. And again, you're looking down on the Maverick next to you for sure. You're not getting a lot of features back here for sure. There's no place to put your right hand. The cup holders are nice in the center there. But overall, this is a place that, again, I could do for maybe a 30, 45-minute drive. But if I'm making a long trip, I wouldn't want to subject anybody to, a long trip back here. There's no charge ports, no aircon, nothing like that. This thing is built to work. This thing is built to last. So because of that, you don't get as many features as you do in the Maverick. But what you do get is a lot of customizability, like this rear seat. It's very configurable. I love that. Super cool. As we make our way into the Ford Maverick, however, one of the things you are instantly greeted by is more space. The Ford Maverick has more headroom, more legroom, more shoulder room, more room, more room, more room, more room. Tons more room than the Toyota Tacoma. It definitely is a more comfortable place to be overall. You can do long road trips in this thing with ease, and that isn't even me talking about comfort of how these things are to drive. I'm just talking purely from a basis of sitting and how comfortable it is in here. You get heated seats, heated steering wheel, and that whole nine. As we make our way to the rear, you also notice we have more rear leg room, thanks in part to that cutout, and then there's a bump out as well in the headroom, so you also have more headroom back here too. So as we walk around these cars, let's talk about the biggest difference between the Maverick and the Tacoma, and that is price. On the left, that Toyota Tacoma is a little bit higher, but it also is $7,000 more expensive than the Maverick. That Toyota Tacoma, as option there, without the accessories, costs a little bit over $37,000 versus this Maverick costs a little bit over $31,000. So excuse me, $6,000 difference between these two models. And we all know how cheap you can get a Maverick if you don't value some of the features that I have optioned on this XLT. Fact of the matter is, from a dimensional perspective, these trucks are very similar. The biggest difference between the Tacoma and the Maverick is bed length and small difference in bed and overall height. The Toyota Tacoma is a little bit taller and a little bit longer, but that's about it. So what do I think about the Toyota Tacoma versus the Ford Maverick? Well, here's the thing. What do you want? Do you want the unibody pickup truck, the truck that's more comfortable on the inside, the truck that has more room on the inside, but the truck that also doesn't have some of the off-road capability of a body-on-frame pickup, a truck that has maybe more fuel efficiency but doesn't have the ability to tow like a body-on-frame pickup truck has? Or do you just want something that, quite frankly, will last you till the end of time like the Toyota Tacoma? Because that is what you're giving up when you go from something like a Toyota Tacoma to a Ford Maverick. If you want something that will last you forever, if you want something that can tow, if you want something that can do serious off-roading, the Tacoma is your option. The Maverick will not tow over 4,000 pounds. The Maverick will not do crazy off-roading like the Toyota Tacoma can, but it will get better fuel economy. It will get more comfort in the inside. You will have more room. You'll be able to road trip. So the question is, what do you value? See you next time.